Hey everybody, it's Chuck Dixon back to answer the question, what you watching? I'm going to mine for some gold in the ever-going deluge of streaming content coming your way over various services. And this week is going to be Prime Video. I go mining in Prime Video to find you a few nuggets. Maybe movies you've never heard of. Maybe movies that you just didn't pop up as recommended to you, but that you might enjoy. First off is Juggernaut, 1974. There was a disaster movie craze going on, and Juggernaut kind of combines the disaster movie genre with the thriller genre. It's about a big old luxury liner that some crazy criminal has placed explosive devices on, and they're very clever, very tricky explosive devices. And Captain Omar Sharif, captain of the luxury liner, he's not real sure what to do. And Anthony Hopkins, who's investigating this crime for MI5, he calls in the SAS, a unit in the SAS that defuses bombs. And they do a pretty exciting parachute drop and scuba swim to the ship. Some pretty extraordinary stunts going on in that scene. The team is led by Richard Harris. He's their bomb disposal expert. And it's pretty much his movie. From the time he arrives on screen, he pretty much owns this movie right up to the end. And he's very cool, calm, collected kind of guy that keeps all the tension under wraps, which makes it all the more tense. It's directed by Richard Lester, who's known for making 2 movies with the Beatles and a series of comedies. And as far as I know, this is his first, real 100% thriller movie, suspense film. And he does very well. But there's lots of the Richard Lester touches. Roy Kinnear is in the film doing his usual comedy relief bits. But Lester was good at capturing human moments and grounding films in reality. And there's no hyperbole in this film. There's no melodrama. It's very well paced. It's very well done. And it feels real throughout. I think that's something. Lester was great at capturing those great human moments that help elevate what could have been just, standard fare programmer type material. He elevates it to something more. And it's an intelligently done thriller, and I urge you to check it out. Again, it's on Amazon. Time Lapse. Here's a movie that you probably all missed. It's sort of a time travel movie. It's a zero budget film. There's literally 2 sets in the whole film, and they're small. I mean, the film is like it was filmed in somebody's closet, but you forget all about that when the concept is introduced. The main conceit of the movie is a camera. It's a Polaroid camera that can take pictures exactly 24 hours in the future. So you can take a picture and see what's happening in that room in the next 24 hours. And some young folks living in the same apartment complex as the inventor come upon this mystery, have to figure out what's going on, and you're figuring out with them every step of the way. It's got an excellent cast, a very small cast, and it's a mind twister as you try to anticipate and figure out what's going to happen next along with the cast. Even when you know what's going to happen next because the camera has shown you, you're like, well, how in the world are they going to get there? So it's a neat little film, and it's one that after you're done watching it, you're going to think about for a long time. Time paradox and things like that, they fascinate me. My wife insists that they make me schizo, but but we won't tell her I watched this. Okay. So next up, Will Penny. It's a Western film from the 60s. And it stars Charlton Heston in, for my money, his best role. Chuck could overact. He had a tendency to chew the scenery, play it big. In this role, he's more restrained than I've ever seen him in a film. He's playing a cowpoke, a cowpuncher, and who sort of ends up as the protector of widow Joan Hackett and her son, living out there in the prairie. Heston plays a guy who's hardworking, getting toward the end of his career, getting a little too long in the tooth to be riding the range, and not really that bright, and certainly not educated. But he's got a good heart, and that's what makes it a great character. And Heston really throws himself into the role, but not in the way you're used to seeing him. He really is giving a more nuanced performance in this film. I mean, I like him in movies, but he was a bit of a ham, and I think he'd admit that he was a bit of a ham. But here he's not doing that, and he's matched by an awesome cast of Western character actors that include Ben Johnson, Lee Majors, Slim Pickens, Clifton James, and the bad guys are led by Anthony Zerba, who you don't usually see in Westerns, but he's very good in this. And aiding and abetting him in his evil ways are Donald Pleasance and Bruce Dern. Now, if you're any kind of Western fan, the idea of Donald Pleasance and Bruce Dern being the psychotic, gutter trash in any Western is irresistible. I mean, just the idea of Donald Pleasance in a Western alone, and Bruce Dern, always worth the price of admission, especially when he's playing a psychotic Western bad guy. So check it out. It's written and directed by Tom Grease, who created the Rat Patrol. But I believe this is his first feature film, and he makes a real effort toward authenticity in this movie. Everything about it feels, worn, lived in, and it's one of those movies that makes you think that there was a whole fascinating story before the movie started and a whole fascinating story after the movie ends, but you're only seeing part of Will Penny's life. And that's a good feeling to have when you're watching a movie. Okay, we're going to close this out with The Fortune Cookie. It's a Billy Wilder production from 1966, and it's the first pairing of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau on screen. And for my money, I like it better than The Odd Couple. It's an excellent film about human nature. Billy Wilder being a keen student of that. Jack Lemmon plays a TV cameraman for CBS, and he's filming a football game when something terrible happens. He gets tackled on the offsides. He literally gets sidelined and put in the hospital with some injuries. Well, his brother-in-law sees this as an opportunity. His brother-in-law, played by Walter Matthau, sees this as an opportunity to make a bundle by suing the football team, suing the NFL. And the NFL's insurance company isn't having any of it. And they continually are investigating Jack Lemmon. Now, Jack Lemmon isn't that badly hurt. He got a little bit of a sprained neck. But Walter Matthau convinces him to, act up and wear a neck brace and walk around with a cane and all the rest of it. So it's insurance fraud all the way. And Jack Lemmon isn't necessarily as into it as Walter Matthau. And that's where the tension, the complication, and the suspense all come from. It's a really funny film. It's fast-paced. For some reason, it's in black and white, and for some reason, I love widescreen black and white movies. When I was a kid, they were still making black and white movies, even in CinemaScope. But it's gorgeously photographed, and the cast is uniformly excellent, mostly made up of New York City area actors. A lot of theater actors are in this. But I urge you to check it out. If you like Lemmon and Matthau, you're going to adore this, because I really think it's the best thing they were ever in together, and they're perfectly matched. Okay, if you have a movie or TV show that you would like me to review, if you'd like to have my opinion on it, or if you disagree with me about anything I just said, let me know at brunobookstore@gmail.com. That's Bruno bookstore@gmail.com. And I will address your issues and possibly review the series or movie that you request in a future segment. Hey, ArcTunes is a free new digital comics platform with, at this point, hundreds of episodes and millions of views. It's high res. You can read these comics on any device. There's lots of my material here and lots of other material, every genre you can think of. Horror, humor, suspense, espionage, fantasy, action, superheroes, everything. We've got a comic about economics. I mean, anything you can think of. It's one-stop shopping. Go check it out. Like I said, it's free. I assure you, you'll find something there that you'll want to follow as each new weekly episode drops. Okay, that's it for me. I will keep watching. I will keep reviewing. And I'll see all of you down the road.